Luke Brooks is not an NRL halfback. There, I've said it. But could he be about to find his spot at the Manly Sea Eagles? The early signs are good, but let's get deeper into things. At Manly, he isn't the chief playmaker like he was at the Tigers ever since Mitchell Moses left. And this is kind of going to be a bit of a key issue here. So quickly, some brief stats. From 2013 to 2017, when he partnered Mitchell Moses, Brooks averaged about 43 touches of the football a game. After Moses left in the middle of 2017, right up until the end of last year, Brooks averaged about 53 touches per game. Well, what about his kicking? Across his Tigers career, Luke Brooks was the main kicker at the club. He averaged 238 kick metres per game, but so far for the Sea Eagles, he averages around 60 metres a game, which is obviously a fair drop-off. But do you see what I'm actually getting at here? Brooks doesn't have to be as hands-on at Manly as when he was at the Tigers. It doesn't take a genius to work out that Daly Cherry Evans is going to be the chief playmaker at the club. And it's really what Luke Brooks has needed throughout most of his career, ever since he had that stunning debut in 2013. You always hear people talking about halves running the ball more and playing more eyes-up footy, which is a bit of a nebulous concept because no one can actually tell you what that means. Well, it's kind of half right, but only if you have the structure and the players around you to do it. Is it any wonder that his former halves partner Mitchell Moses has found his most consistent football playing alongside a half who presents a genuine all-round threat right across the park in Dylan Brown? Brooks no longer has to worry about marshalling his troops and getting everyone around the field. He can be a lot more selective when he injects himself into the game. And if anything, it's where he naturally seems to excel. Let's take a quick look at Luke Brooks' try in Las Vegas in round 1. He takes off down the short side and targets Damien Cook, who is a middle defender defending on an edge, and we all saw how that worked out when he did it at Origin level. If you want more on this try, you can jump onto my Patreon, where I'm doing more of these kind of little deep dives into individual plays. Your first week is free and the link is in the description. Okay, so I lied a little bit at the start. Brooks is an NRL halfback, but he's never really had a team around him to take advantage of it. He's also been in the unenviable position of being called the next Andrew Johns from the moment he debuted in first grade. Anyone who knows anything about rugby league, that's almost a death knell for any player, or any young player to be specific. It takes years and years of experience at the top grade level to actually develop your all-round game, and some players get weighed down with the weight of expectation. But let's see how we can benefit the most from Manly's attacking style. The Sea Eagles have traditionally been left side dominant, and a big part of that has been the presence of Tom Trbojevic, who loops around there out the back, and he attracts a lot of attention from the defence and opens up space for his teammates to exploit, or takes the ball himself and does Tom Trbojevic things. When he's fit, which is getting rarer and rarer, Josh Schuster plays as a left back rower, which we know he's going to do because Brooks is playing as the 5'8". But is Schuster the right fit for Brooks in this Manly side at the moment? Well, Vegas gave us a really good insight into how Manly can use Brooks best. And it might change a bit given Allegiant Stadium was a lot narrower than traditional NRL feeds, so teams had to be a lot more compact and a lot more direct. But I still see that what Brooks did in Vegas in round 1, he can do throughout the season with that bit of extra room on the edges that naturally the wider fields allow. And in Vegas, we actually saw 2 back rowers that have kind of been there now for the past 3 weeks for Brooks. You had Ben Trbojevic and Corey Waddell. They're 2 fairly no-frills players that make their tackles, run good lines, and will take a tough carry. All kind of things that Josh Schuster isn't known for. So let's look at this try against the Bulldogs in round 26 last year. And this is from Manly, so Jake Arthur is playing 5'8", and he likes running the ball, although he doesn't really possess the speed needed to really do it at a consistent level. He doesn't need to worry about that though, because Ben Trbojevic runs an unders line, Brad Parker runs a crash line, which causes the Bulldogs' outside men to collapse in, and Tolu Kula has a 2-on-1 to execute. Brooks' role is going to be a lot simpler at Manly, again, provided he has the right players around him. As I've mentioned, Schuster probably isn't the back rower he should be paired with. Sure, he's crazy talented and he can create, but if anything, he should be looking at his teammate Haumole Olakau'atu to know how to harness that ability. He's not a half at the moment, and if he tries to play like that, you're going to end up with Brooks cramped for room and unable to make space on the left edge. In many ways, this is the simple blueprint the Tigers could have followed when they recruited Jackson Hastings, who was a dominant half who likes to play on the ball. That would have loosened Brooks up to be less of a conductor and a lot more selective in the way he plays. Instead, they let Hastings go the same year the Tigers got a much needed boost in their forward pack, and particularly when you look at their back rowers who typically would have been paired with Brooks on an edge. either Isaiah Papali'i or John Bateman. And both Papali'i and Bateman can smash holes in the defence, they make their tackles, they can pop offloads, or they can create space for their halves to exploit, which would have suited Brooks to a T. But the Tigers wasted that opportunity, and now Manly looks set to profit. However, this isn't the only mistake teams made last year. So click on this video to learn about the 3 key mistakes that teams made that cost them games last year.